What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Zamboni. I am a musician and astrologer, and it is time to talk about the astrology of the week ahead. As always, I thank you so very much for being here. Thank you for rocking with me another time. Thank you for coming with me week after week. Usually I go out to the stream, but today I got rained on when I was out at the stream, so now we're gonna have to deal with this. You gotta look at my porch again, even on Sunday. Sorry about that. If you would like to help out and support the production of this kind of content, you can check out my Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. That is the most direct way to make sure that I can continue to make artwork and stuff like this. I am still working on some new music. That's right, more music is coming out pretty soon. If you are excited about what's going on, you can get some merch here. You can check out the Can't Help Myself merch. I got Breathe merch as well. You can check that out at zambonifunk.com. You can get those kinds of things. Those come in t-shirts, and they come in hoodies, and they come in posters. The posters are especially excellent. I definitely recommend checking that out. Let's talk about the astrology of the week ahead. So this week we got a full moon in Capricorn. So full moon in Capricorn is kind of cute for Capricorn moon, like the moon in Capricorn, so that is opposite to the moon's domicile. The moon lives in Cancer, and so to see the moon in Capricorn as far away from home as possible, typically that's a situation where it's not very moon-like, and so the moon has a hard time doing the moon things in that location. It's sort of like the moon wants to nourish and take care of things and this sort of stuff, take care of other people, take care of oneself, this kind of thing. The moon in Capricorn is maybe a little like workaholic or something like this. Like the moon in Capricorn, one of my favorite go-tos is like it will skip lunch because there's work to do or something like that. This particular moon in Capricorn, the full moon in Capricorn, looks like a bit of fun. It looks like, it's got this trine to Jupiter in Taurus. Taurus is the exaltation of the moon, and so this looks like a position where things want to be sort of like grounded and stable in some kind of way. That's interesting because Taurus, which is ruled by Venus is in Leo, making a square to Uranus in Taurus as well. And that's a really big deal here because Venus is going to make that square 3 times, right? We've got this one, this is the forward square, and then Venus is going to station retrograde and move back and hit that square again, and then going to station direct, and then it's going to hit that square a 3rd time over a period of months. And so, a square to Uranus is usually jarring or upsetting in some kind of way. And by upsetting, I don't necessarily mean like wah kind of upset, but rather like upset, like, oh, I didn't expect that team to win or something like this, right? That's typically what we can see with Uranus. There's an unexpected surprise of some sort that wants to come through with that kind of thing. And so Venus is making that. And then, so this Venus retrograde, I've been talking about Venus retrograde all week. I keep having clients come in and they have questions about their relationships all the time, but even when it comes down to their jobs, or somebody had a complaint about a foot come in. He broke a foot and was dealing with that. And I keep talking about this Venus retrograde as like a reevaluation of some sort, like having to sit down and be like, okay, what do I really care about? What actually matters to me in my heart? And how do I use that to navigate what's going on in the world? So Venus is the planet that typically is associated with cooperation and harmony and sweetness and togetherness and beauty and arts and these kinds of things, right? And so then Venus retrograde, moving backwards instead of forward, is typically some kind of like acrimony or difficulty. Like it's hard to get to the cooperative sweet things, and that difficulty can then shine a little light on what actually matters, what we actually care about and things. And so to see this square to Uranus here definitely gives us the sense that the Venus things are being disrupted in some kind of way. The joy, the harmony, the togetherness is disrupted in a way that you might not have seen coming. But to see this full moon here, and that full moon is happening tomorrow, so we're already building up to that. Check it out if you can. Definitely, this is going to be a nice moon to see in the sky, especially since it's making this trine to Jupiter, and a trine is an aspect that like both planets can be up above the horizon at the time, and so at a particular time, and so that might be nice to look at and see what a trine, what 120 degrees actually looks like Jupiter over here and the moon over there. That'll be a cute one to see in the sky. But so to see that kind of thing going on here, that looks like it wants to be kind of stabilizing or helpful in some kind of way. Like maybe it's good for the Venus thing to be disrupted in the way that it is because there's some kind of opportunity or some kind of something delicious that wants to take place here. This is something that I've been thinking about with this Venus retrograde that's upcoming. We're not even into Venus retrograde yet, right? But so this is our first pass here with this square to Uranus. Something that I've been thinking about is maybe using this time to get an idea of what kinds of things are coming here throughout the Venus retrograde cycle. This is not a super busy week as far as aspects are concerned. We don't have a lot of different things going on. Like everybody's just kind of hanging out in their spot. This is Mars's last week in Leo here. So if you've been watching in the sky, you've been watching Venus and Mars like getting closer and closer together. Like, there's a very like will they, won't they kind of energy here. They're starting to separate at this point. Venus is slowing down and Mars is just charging on through, right? And so we've got this Mars here at the end of Leo. Mars likes being at the end of Leo. This is a strong position for Mars to do the Mars things, to especially be active and like handle business, to go hard on stuff. You know, Mars is still like separating from the square to Uranus, and Mars and Uranus agree on things a lot of times. They want to blow shit up and like disrupt things, right? And so rupture or rupt, to break things, both Uranus and Mars can really agree on that sort of stuff. And so to see that going on here, and Mars is just hanging out in Leo for the rest of the week. Mars will move into Virgo next week. We'll talk about that then. So this looks like a time to like continue doing whatever it is. Maybe some stuff is blowing up all around us, and then it becomes a question of like, okay, so if I can't do that in that way, but I still have my eyes on the prize over here, I still have something that I'm trying to work toward, then how can we do that? And there's still some energy, there's some drive to be able to do that. Full moon is likely to be a time where there's a lot of energetic excitement in this kind of thing. I have famously found it very difficult to sleep under the full moon and this kind of thing. So there's a lot of drive to handle business, to get shit done. This Mars looks like it is ready to do that as well. We've also got really nice aspects that are just like kind of ongoing between Jupiter and Saturn, for example. That aspect is a sextile, and that's starting to separate because Saturn is now moving backward and Jupiter is still moving forward at this point. So that aspect is widening, but that still looks really like nutritive and nourishing. That looks like something that is like really possible. A lot of stuff can take place here and kind of like take root under a sky like this. I would expect, maybe it's just because it's raining here and so I'm thinking rainy thoughts, but like something can really like take what is going on here and make something solid, get a strong rooted foundation in some kind of way, especially using the full moon energy, that Mars and Leo energy that like wants to work hard and do the thing. All of that sort of like wants to come through here. Now, we can notice that the Sun and Mercury in Cancer are going to be like moving through different moods as we go throughout, because those are ruled by the moon, and the moon is always going to be changing signs and changing like aspect relationships and this sort of stuff. So we can see that there's a little bit of like moodiness or changes that want to come through here, especially since we've got that Uranus square Venus, and that Venus is moving super slow, so that square to Uranus is going to like take a little while and this kind of thing. But that might actually give us a few different angles on goals and objectives that we're still trying to hit here. So I think that this is a really interesting week to maybe take a little time, work it out, and this is not one of our most raucous weeks. So there's a little space to actually work. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate y'all, all y'all support. I'll check you next time.